Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1582. The topic is nutrition and the title is You Should Be Fueling Your Workouts. So, had a client started working with a little bit ago, and they're a CrossFit coach, and they've been wanting to increase strength, but they're very mindful of also wanting to stay lean. So they've been wanting to increase strength because they want to actually start getting ready for next year's CrossFit Open because they recognize that in this current off season, they just didn't get really any stronger and they didn't have as great of a kind of a prep season as they wanted. So we're already in discussion. We're already working on what can we do to kind of make them better for 2024, which is pretty cool. So we looked at nutrition, which is obvious since today's podcast is a nutrition podcast. But I want to read through kind of what their day looks like and what they were eating. And then we're going to talk about some of the adjustments that we've been making. So meal one, they get up pretty early. They have coffee and then they have oats and protein powder. And they said sometimes if they get up early enough, they'll make like oats in a bowl, again, and mix in the protein powder, and they like that. It tastes pretty good. They said sometimes when they're busy, they use like a blender thing, and they'll just blend the oats and the protein powder, pour, water or like an almond milk, something that's very low calorie, low sugar, and then they'll drink that on the way to the gym. So it's coffee with oats and protein powder. Then they get to the gym, and they have their morning workouts. This is their workout, and they have a sugar-free energy drink. Then, post-workout, they have oats and protein again, and they say this is because it has to be a quick meal, and then they go into training clients. They train clients for 4 to 5 hours, kind of roughly somewhere in there. Then, their next meal, they have 4 ounces of lean meat with 50 grams of carbohydrates. Now, that's not 50 grams in terms of like the weight of the food. It's however much of the food that provides 50 grams of carbohydrates. So if you were to look at a nutrition fact label, you would see like a food has, X amount of calories, a certain number of grams of fats, grams of carbs, grams of protein. So they eat enough of the carb-containing food to get to 50 grams of contributable carbs. So that they said they often choose potatoes or rice, and then they mix in vegetables, but the vegetables are never more than 100 calories. So they'll mix it up a little bit here and there, but no matter what vegetable they pick, they never let it be more than 100 calories contributable to the meal. And that's good to know because like I've had clients before that told me, I just have a cup of vegetables, and they tell me they're having a cup of lima beans, which is like 300 calories. And I'm like, you can't do that. So vegetables can add up if depending on what you define as a vegetable. But that's their midday meal, 4 ounces lean meat, 50 grams of carbohydrates with vegetables. Then they do an hour of admin work, and then they go into an afternoon workout. And they said the afternoon workout is usually not the more aggressive one. The morning workout is the more aggressive workout. The afternoon one, they do it, but it's either sometimes working on something technical. Maybe they'll just do like a quick little Metcon or quick strength thing, or they'll just kind of have fun with friends making up stuff, but it's semi-structured. They always do it, but they don't really know always what they're going to do. And then after that workout, again, they have oats and protein powder. Then again, they go into training clients for a couple hours. And then their evening meal is 4 ounces of the lean meat. And then they have about 30 to 40 grams of fat. And they said that something like oftentimes comes from just oils. So they'll have 4 ounces of lean meat, pour some oil over it, and then again with vegetables. And in total, if I looked through a couple days of their food, and they averaged around 2,000 calories, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But the kind of main window of calories was between 2,000 to 2,200. And then they had 160 grams of protein. They weigh 160 pounds. So they're like, hey, that's, pretty good. So that is what they've been eating. They were very content with their food. And whenever we started talking about what could make them stronger, they're like, yeah, food's good. So for programming, maybe we could do blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, yeah. I was like, hold on. Like when you say food's good, we have to kind of to talk about that. We have to say what is, to you what is good versus to me what is good. So we went through this, and in general, they're severely under eating. Severely. They weigh 160 pounds. They're already pretty lean. You can see their abs. So it's not like they weigh 160, but they're actually 130 pounds. They're 160, and they're a pretty damn solid 160. So she trains between 8 to 10 workouts a week, because a lot of the days, like we said, she's doing 2-a-days. And they're typically around 60 minutes. Sometimes they're a little shorter, she said, in the afternoon. But you're looking at 8 to 10 workouts a week. She weighs 160 pounds. She's only eating like around 13 times her body weight. That's not enough. I mean, 13 times your body weight is what people often use to diet on. And this is a performance athlete. So they need to be eating a lot more. And then for their protein, the majority of their protein, over 50% of their protein, is coming from protein powder. And the protein powder has been eating, it's paired with a carbohydrate-only kind of food that doesn't really have any fats in it. So it's interesting in the sense that if you have protein powder, it's a pretty fast-digesting protein. It's a pretty fast-digesting nutrient source, meaning that it digests very quickly. And even if you pair it with oats, which are relatively slow digesting, you're still going to have a pretty fast digesting meal overall. And that's what they have before they train 4 to 5 hours worth of training clients, which is very active when you're a CrossFit coach. So 4 to 5 hours in the morning, and then another 3 to 4 in the afternoon. So they're having a meal that digests very quickly, but then they're not getting to eat, but they're being very active for many hours. So it's leading to increased cortisol, which is going to decrease body fat loss. It's going to increase water retention. So that really isn't great for aesthetics. So this person's actually leaner than what they look like, and it has crappy energy. So they're going to have really poor energy. So for example, in their afternoon workout, they'll often have another sugar-free drink. Energy drink. So they have one in the morning. I don't even know how much caffeine it is, but it's 100% definitely is based on energy. It's not like a health drink. It's literally drink this so your face goes on fire and you feel like a psycho to work out. And they get it for free. So at the very low friction as to why they would have another one. So by the afternoon, they're feeling low energy, and they get a drink for free. Of course you're going to drink it. So one of the reasons why they're feeling such low energy is before that 4 to 5 hour training block of training clients, they just got done beating the crap out of themselves for an hour. They drink a little bit of protein powder and some oats, and then they go train people for 4 or 5 hours. That's not anywhere near enough. So it's just leaving them completely destroyed energy-wise and way behind recovery and energy-wise by the afternoon. So a couple focal points for us was we need more calories, significantly more calories, and I would say we're going to be aiming at least up to 15 to 17 times their body weight. Now, we're not going to just jump right there because they're going to gain a lot of water retention and they're going to feel fat and bloated and they'll hate themselves and they'll think they're going to get, they'll just be miserable mental experience. So we're going to just start going up by 1 time their body weight per time, so basically 160 calories per week, until we get to a body weight, until we get to an intake that feels like they have better energy in the afternoon. Their workout performance is absolutely increasing. We're already seeing this stuff. It's just we have to start creeping our way up, but start eating more to better fuel the body and fuel recovery and fuel energy and all the good stuff. And then for protein, they're only having protein powder, the same protein powder, 3 times a day, and they're often having chicken breast, and that's it. So they're only having 2 sources of protein. So I was like, we got to mix that up a little bit. We got to get you a little bit more away from those protein powders, get a little more complex, protein in there, and a little more food variety. We just need more options. Having the oats and protein powder may be contributing to her reported bloating and organic gasiness feeling for sure. And that's going to be a big benefit, is to making the change in regards to having more variety within those sources. So those things, so increasing calories, getting more variety of protein sources and foods overall, and then also playing with caloric distribution is going to be the biggest factors we're going to look at. So before their morning workout, they're having roughly about 400 calories. That's it. and then they go beat the living crap out of themselves for an hour. And then they only have another like 400 calories, and they go train clients for 4 to 5 hours. So they're only having 800 calories within the first like 8 hours of being awake, and it's majority like it's not like over majority, but it's a high percentage of protein. There's not a lot of like energy nutrients within those meals. So it's rough because the body's it's burning through what she's giving it, but then it needs infinitely more. So her body is just being severely underfed through the first half of the day. So we're going to start adding we already did. We added a carb powder. There's a bunch of different types. Like you might be familiar with Vitargo. There's a lot of like carb-based powders like I won't get too much into it. But we're going to add a carb-based powder in her pre-workout in the morning. And she doesn't really like drinking stuff during the workout. So I said, we'll just, have it before the workout, maybe on the drive to the gym. Just add it to what you're doing and get some more energy nutrients in there before your first workout. I have another client, another client who's a CrossFit coach, and they're now starting to add in carb powder for them as well, and they've already noticed a big boost in their energy as well. So it's something that can help a lot because it's very quick digesting, and it's not like a lot of volume, so it doesn't mess with digestion before the workout. And especially since we're adding it in small increments, that way the body has a chance to get used to it. Then for their post-workout, morning workout meal, we have to add a lot more. So we want to have a more complex protein than just the protein powder, and we want to have more energy nutrients than just, the 240-ish calories from oats. That's it. Ugh. We got to add way more than that. So what's happening is that meal is digesting so quickly, and it's not even really enough to fully recover from the workout, let alone fuel the next 4 to 5 hours of training clients. So we bumped that up quite a bit. And then the midday meal, we added more carbs to that meal, or if they can't, they're going to drink more carbohydrates with that afternoon workout. And then later in the day, we didn't make too many calorie adjustments. So our calories, in regards to like distribution changes, will be mostly pre-workout and during the day. The goal is to better fuel the workouts. If they have better energy going into the workouts, they'll have better performance in the workouts, and they'll have a better and bigger adaptation stimulus from the workouts. They'll get stronger faster, bigger muscles faster, leaner faster. Everything will happen faster. And then also by fueling the workouts, we lessen the recovery deficit post-workout. So by giving them better nutrients leading into the workout, their body can better mitigate and manage some of the stress during the workout, which leaves them with less of a kind of like quote-unquote recovery hole. They're not digging such a deep gouge into their recovery in the training. So it's going to decrease cortisol response post-workout, which is super awesome for a lot of reasons. And it's going to increase their overall recovery between workouts. So by better fueling the workouts, they're going to be bigger, stronger, more muscular, leaner, all the good stuff. So part of the reason why this athlete was training their butt off, but they weren't seeing strength increases, was because they weren't fueling the body's ability to make those increases. They were training in the gym, which created a stimulus for change. You gave your body a reason to get stronger. That's what the training was. But she didn't give her body a way to get stronger. She wasn't eating appropriately to allow her body to make those strength changes. So she was giving her body a reason to get stronger, but she wasn't giving it a way to get stronger. Big thing there. Big. And I see that a lot, especially in CrossFitters and especially in bodybuilding athletes who want to remain lean. They just undercut their progress so much because they're so under-eating. They're under-fueling their workouts. So if you're wanting to be lean but still have great workouts, great performance, great stimulus for change, it's better to reduce carbs and fats away from the workout times than to actually potentially underfuel the workouts. So you have to make sure you're eating enough overall. We have podcast 1232. It's a nutrition podcast titled Start Here. You can find it on our website, www.brutalirongym.com, and it'll tell you exactly to figure out how many calories you need, how many grams of protein, distribution, all that stuff. So it'll tell you how to distribute your calories. So you want to make sure you're eating enough. You want to make sure you have enough calories, enough protein, and your distribution is matching your activity level. Eat more when you move more, eat less when you move less in carbs and fats. And then protein should be pretty consistent throughout the day. So you want to also make sure you're eating a variety of foods. You don't want to be too repetitive within a single day. So you don't want to have protein powder 4, 5, 6 times a day. Mix it up, eat some meats. You can eat a pre-cooked chicken breast. If you just cook a bunch of chicken breast, you can eat a 4-ounce piece of chicken breast pretty damn quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes a little bit of time prepping the stuff, for sure. Absolutely. That does take time. But you can get it in. You just have to have it ready. And if you can, away from workouts, try to eat more complex foods. Foods that take a little bit longer to digest. It doesn't mean you only have to do, protein and fats, because fats are the slowest digesting. You can have carbs. You just want to make sure they're more of a complex-based carb, not a fast carb. And a more complex protein, not a fast protein like a protein powder. So this is what I see quite often, is people underfuel their workouts. And they're basically just underfueling the adaptation. Like, they went and worked out and they created a reason for change, but they're not giving their body a way to change. Not eating enough calories, not eating enough protein, and they're not eating appropriate timing-wise to their activity. So for this person, we had to put a lot more calories earlier in the day, and that's already making a big difference for them. So I'm super excited to then, after the Open, start really getting into some strength-based programming. So it'll be fun for them to get a boost based on just simply the nutrition changes alone, and then it'll be fun to start working on the strength programming stuff. So I thought that'd be fun, just kind of talk a little bit about what I was going through with one of my clients. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out or email brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching like this client, you can check that service out on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. We have one-on-one coaching for training, one-on-one coaching for kind of training and nutrition together, and then also for nutrition only. So some people, they have a training program they like, the training system, but they don't know how to eat to properly fuel that system. So we work together for nutrition only. And then I also have clients who have nutrition disorders or diseases and issues. So they really only want to work with me nutritionally. So that's why we have that kind of separated service. Okay. Check that all out. It's on our website. And then if you ever need anything, if you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, just really let me know at my email, brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you like today's podcast, please share the podcast. When you share it, let people know that we answer questions for free. So that way they can live a healthier and happier life and not have to pay a dime for it. Pretty awesome. And then thank you to those who donate to support the podcast. That way other people don't have to pay the dime. But I really appreciate the donations. Helps cover some of the cost for me, so it's not so much of a hit. I really do love doing the podcast. I like having it every single day. So thank you very much to the people who donate to make that financially more possible. So I really appreciate that. And if you want to donate, you can do so on our website. Then if you like the information we share in our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels, Instagram every day, YouTube a lot. So find us and follow us under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.